Right now, somewhere on Earth, someone is eating nothing but raw meat. No vegetables, no fruit, no cooked food at all. And their body is already changing in ways scientists didn't expect. Some people who try this claim they feel unstoppable. Others end up in a hospital bed within weeks. So what's actually happening inside a body that eats only raw meat? The answer involves ancient bacteria, a vitamin most people have never thought about, and a survival trick buried deep in human history. For millions of years, before fire, before farming, our ancestors ate meat raw. It's one of the oldest diets on the planet. Today, it's having a strange comeback, with a small but growing group of people eating raw meat exclusively, calling it the ultimate natural diet. But here's the twist. What happens to the human body on this diet isn't simple at all. Some effects are surprising, some are dangerous, and one of them explains why cooking food might be the single most important invention in human history. Let's start with week 1. The body switches fuel sources almost immediately. Without carbs, it shifts into a state called ketosis, burning fat and protein for energy instead. Some people describe a strange mental clarity in the first few days. Energy spikes, hunger fades, it feels like the body is thriving, but something invisible is already building underneath. Raw meat carries passengers. Bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli and parasites like Toxoplasma don't die without heat. Cooking has always been the kill switch. Skip it and you're playing a kind of biological lottery every single meal. Here's where it gets stranger. Not everyone gets sick right away. Some people eat raw meat for months without obvious symptoms. Why? Because the human gut isn't a blank slate. It carries the echo of an ancient battle our ancestors fought for millions of years, building partial defenses against the very microbes living in raw flesh. But partial isn't permanent, and partial isn't safe. Then there's the slower, quieter danger, the one that doesn't show up in week 1 or even month 1. Vitamin C. Most animals make their own vitamin C internally. Humans lost that ability somewhere in our evolutionary past. We depend entirely on food for it. Cooked meat has almost none. Raw meat has a little more, just enough that some researchers believe it may have helped early humans survive lean seasons without fruit or vegetables. But a little more isn't enough. Push the diet too far, cut out everything else, and the body starts running low. Weeks pass, then gums bleed, wounds stop healing properly, joints ache. This is scurvy, the disease that haunted sailors for centuries, and it can return in the modern world from something as simple as an extreme diet. So why doesn't this happen to actual carnivores in nature? Here's the twist scientists didn't expect. Wolves and lions don't just eat muscle meat. They eat organs first, liver, kidneys, even stomach contents, which are partially full of plant material. Nature's raw meat diet was never really just meat. It was an entire ecosystem packed inside one animal. Humans attempting an all-raw muscle meat diet are missing that hidden blueprint. And that gap is exactly where the danger lives. Then there's the immune system itself, which doesn't sit back quietly. Every undercooked bite forces it into overdrive, fighting invaders nobody can see. For some people, this manifests as nothing more than mild stomach discomfort. For others, it becomes food poisoning severe enough to require hospitalization. The unpredictability isn't random. It depends on the meat's source, freshness, handling, and the individual's own gut bacteria, a combination almost impossible to control perfectly, meal after meal, for years. And this is where the real mystery begins. Cooking didn't just make food taste better. Some anthropologists argue it rewired human evolution itself. Cooked food is easier to digest, which means the body spends less energy breaking it down, freeing up calories for something else entirely. Brain growth. Our brains are extraordinarily expensive to run. Some researchers believe the shift to cooked food may have helped fuel the dramatic increase in brain size that defines our species. In other words, the moment we stepped away from raw meat might be the moment we became human. So eating only raw meat today isn't returning to nature. It's stepping backward past a turning point our species already crossed, without the organ-rich, plant-supplemented diet that made it survivable in the wild. Strip away the fire and you're not just removing a cooking method, you're removing thousands of years of adaptation that helped shape who we are. The body can survive on raw meat for a while. Some people do it for months without disaster. But survival isn't the same as thriving, and the line between the two is thinner and stranger than most people realize. If you enjoyed uncovering mysteries like this, subscribe for more fascinating stories about history, science, and the human body.